Hello friendly face and welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be attempting to build a little house or cottage, which seem to be my thing, for Geralt of Rivia. If you've watched The Witcher, you know who that is, or if you played the games, you also know who that is. That was a weird thing to say. Moving on. For this build I was super inspired by Claire, who made an awesome cottage for her Snow White challenge, and I will be linking that video and her channel in the description box below. So for Geralt, I was thinking he would of course live in a cottage, and as I said, this is very inspired by Claire's cottage. The shell is pretty much the same, but then I slightly tweaked it and made the inside different, and also I made a little outhouse. Is that the correct English term? Outside bathroom? That by happy coincidence Geralt actually loved. He was sitting there just laughing and laughing and laughing. Good for you, Geralt. Anyway, what you're seeing is me trying out some different kinds of materials and stuff. I was thinking that it would be like a log cabin and then maybe have a little bit of a sturdier part, and I don't think he's the kind of person who puts up wallpaper, so I let the inside be the same as the outside. And here you'll soon see me try out a lot of different kind of corner poles for the cabin, because when I attached the light to them, they changed color, and I didn't like that, so I tried to match it and kind of build my way around it, which I couldn't. So you will soon see me change back from the reddish color, because it didn't fit and it didn't look good. But I took a little break and started working on the nature instead. Now, the limited knowledge I have about Geralt is that he is kind of a loner, so I assume that he wouldn't be the type of person who puts his house right beside the road, so I tried to build it kind of into the little forest that is his lot a little bit, so it's not clearly visible from the road. And then I wanted to put a little bit of forest in between him and the people outside. As I mentioned, I don't have a whole lot of knowledge about Geralt's character because I haven't played the games and I haven't read the books, but I watched the series, and so basically all the decisions I make on this lot are based off of Henry Cavill's portrayal of Geralt. Of course, we needed a little stable for Roach, even though we technically can't have horses in The Sims 4 yet. Hint, Sims 4 team, give us horses, please! I figured that he would have a small, kind of modest stable. She probably wouldn't spend a whole lot of time in there, just a place for him to keep her if he needed to and to keep her stuff. And I wanted some space for him to tack up outside and maybe brush her and stuff. Obviously, he needed some space to stand and just talk to her because we know he does that a lot. And then I spent a whole lot of time putting in trees and trees and trees. And more trees, and trees, and would you look at that, more trees? I wanted his lot to feel unkept, like it actually was a piece of forest and not a yard. So I wanted to put in a lot of bushes, a lot of grass, a lot of stuff that you would find in the forest. And I'm not sure about the climate in Poland, but I think it's quite similar to where I live. So I tried to kind of mimic that a little bit. And I'm also thinking that he's not the kind of guy who mows his lawn. I mean, he doesn't live in a time where there are lawn mowers, but even if he did, I don't think that he would spend time on that. I mean, he has places to be, monsters to kill, important stuff, you know? At this point, we can finally move on to the funsies, which is decorating the house, or cottage, or cabin, or, you know, whatever we call this little space that he lives in. And I try to focus it on useful furniture that looks rough, because I'm thinking that, like, he doesn't really care about interior design, right? He wants useful stuff. Of course he has a bathtub. Do not forget the bathtub. It's iconic. He needs a bathtub. He also doesn't have any electrical lighting. Everything is candlelit. And of course he doesn't live in a time where there is heating, so he needs a big juicy fireplace where he can like cook meals and get warm and, you know, read in front of, because it turned out that he enjoys reading a whole lot. Like, I think he has a problem, a book problem. He didn't do anything but read. All the time he wanted to read. It came to a point where I had to go like, Geralt, no, we are killing monsters right now. We are not reading books. For his kitchen, I was thinking that he's the sort of guy who doesn't really care about how it looks, he just wants everything to be easily accessible. Since he does live in a realm where magic exists, I tried to put some potions in there, books that looked spellbooky, and quills and parchment, stuff that he would have use for and that makes sense. I was also thinking that he's quite a big guy, so I tried to use materials and furniture that looks sturdy. He would probably have stuff that he could use for years and years and years without it breaking. Even though I really went for the rustic feel, I wanted it to feel like he was still living there and he likes this space and he has a few things, not a lot, but the few things that he has, he treasures. This is a place for him to relax and read his books and study magic and creatures and just beat Geralt. Just like the rest of his bathroom is really sparse. Funnily enough, this was probably his favorite room of the entire lot. He spent an awful lot of time in there giving himself pep talks in the mirror and laughing uncontrollably on the toilet. He's the kind of guy who appreciates the small things in life, like a good pep talk or a comfortable toilet. Geralt really loves his horse, so I figured he would have at least one rug for her, and it of course makes sense that he would keep her food and maybe some brushes and equipment to muck out with in the stable. After finalizing the stables, we are done with the lot, so sit down, have a cup of tea, and get prepared because it's montage time.